All right, welcome everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining me on today's session. We're going to get rolling here. I apologize. I've got a, let me turn off that music in the background. I've got a, my less than ideal camera going on right now because the normal camera, my better quality camera right now is charging up. So as soon as it charges up, I'll be using the better quality camera. We'll get that on here in just one moment. But welcome everybody. Welcome. I see some familiar names and faces out there. What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome. Ross, good to see you. Yeah, been a while. I see Clarence is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yes, that's right. Absolutely. Michael Booker. Sorry, my Bears had to do that to your boys. So am I. Man, the only justification that I can have for the way that performance went in the second half, Michael, is that every time they took a step, there was like a splash on the field. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. David Cartwright, welcome, sir. Good to see you. Wendy Smith, welcome. Awesome. We got a good crew. I see a bunch of people back there tuned in. Thank you so much. Before we get rolling here officially, like I said, I'm going to get this camera going. Oh, good. Look at that. It came back to life. So I'm going to swap out here so I've got my good camera going. And that way we can have some good HD quality on this because we want to make sure and get the good stuff for YouTube. So hello, Philip. Welcome. Abigail, welcome. Creative Biz Hub out of Australia. Awesome. Tony, awesome. Very good. Love it. Love when we get an international crowd. Nothing makes me happier than that. This whole technology thing, when we get an international crowd, that fires me up. Makes me feel all connected to everybody around the world, which is so cool. There we go. Look at that. HD, baby. HD. Now we're talking. We don't want that crummy quality on YouTube on my permanent record, right? All right. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. I hope you're having a great week. Thank you so much for joining me here relatively spontaneously today because I got the opportunity to catch up with my good friend, Clarence Fisher, just really quickly on chat today. And he's a busy man. And I said, Clarence, got some good stuff going on. Let's connect on a live call here. And why not just open up that call to everybody so that we can share some of the great things that he has going on, share a little bit of wisdom and experience from the industry, and talk about designing designing agency services using HighLevel. Okay. As probably everybody on this call here knows already, I'm a massive fan of that platform and what it can do for your business and what it's doing for the industry and so many small businesses out there. And it is so cool because they are developing at such a crazy pace right now. They have so many amazing capabilities that are getting rolled out every day and enhancements that are getting rolled out every day. And so it seems like it could be a full-time job for me to just do these calls, once a day and just update everybody on all the cool things that you could be doing with it. So when we have that opportunity, and I had some time on my calendar, and thankfully Clarence did as well, who will be joining me on camera here in just a moment, then why not jump and get it done? So Ross says, I do look better in HD. What camera is that? That is actually just my old iPhone. That's an iPhone. That's an iPhone X, and it's using a piece of software called Camo to turn it into a webcam, which is really cool. Let's see here. Patrick says, Mike and Clarence together. Nice. Awesome. Larry, what's up? Welcome. Charles, good to see you. Contractor Rush says, love GoHighLevel. Absolutely. New reporting features are crazy cool. Oh man, they got so many features that are crazy cool. Okay. Speaking of HighLevel, before we get into this call, I want to make a plug here real quick to encourage everybody here to consider going to the Level Up Summit. Okay, this is HighLevel's big annual event that is coming up in October. I will be speaking there. I'm thrilled to say. Most importantly, though, I'm just going to be there for all 4 days, and I cannot wait to connect to so many people in the community in person. And for those of you who are maybe newer to this industry, you may not know there was a time when I actually hosted what I think was probably the biggest event specific to this industry, specifically at least to the small business agency space. We used to host the local marketing summit with some business partners of mine. So that was a good size event. We would get a few hundred people to that event each year, and we stopped doing that for a period of time for various reasons. And I am just absolutely thrilled to see that HighLevel is now taking the lead on getting the community together every year. When I was in the IT services business, the high level of that industry was a software platform called ConnectWise. It's still the absolute dominant software platform now in that space. It was on a rise just like HighLevel is. And it's now a multi-billion-dollar company. And I expect actually that from HighLevel here very quickly as well. But it became the thing that the industry kind of organized around, and it became the place then at their annual event every year that we all look forward to going to connect with our peers in the industry, to learn from each other, just to build camaraderie, and get, those insights when you're in a room with hundreds of other people that are all in your industry. You're going to get some insights that are going to help you build your business going forward that you're not going to get, at other just, major marketing events that are more general, right? So it's going to be a phenomenal event. I can't wait. It's in Dallas, Texas. They've got some cool hotel there booked up. And seats are selling out fast. I think I just saw a message from Sean before we hopped on here, which is why I'm sharing this now, saying that the event is almost sold out. I know the room block, when I booked my room a few weeks ago, it was already that room block was getting sold out, so don't wait, jump on that. Okay. Get registered, come to that event. Yes, it will cost you some money to go. It is an investment. I promise you that will have an ROI. Any of my community that's going, I'm going to send out a message before the event and ask you to let me know. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little private meetup there and get to know each other and, see if we can make each other a little bit smarter and a little bit more successful here in the year ahead. Okay. So go check out that link right there. I will actually drop that link into the comments as well, so you don't have to type it in if you haven't already. And you can go, ooh, that was the wrong link. Hold on one second. Let me put in the right link. That's the wrong one. This is the right link. That is the right link. There we go. labspecialist.com/level up. I don't think I get any commission on that link. Just so you know, I'm 90% sure I do not, but I am sharing it because they are having a competition to see who can get the most people there, and I want to win. I'm competitive. So that is a tracking link so I can track my results. So click on that sucker and come and meet us in the event in Dallas, Texas. Okay. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. Enough of my messing around here. Clarence Fisher, I see you back there, sir. You mind if I bring you on camera? Give me a wave. I think you look good. Oh yeah, he's such a handsome guy. Oh, hold on. Let me get rid of that background too. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. What background?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. All right. What's up, brother?
Welcome. It's good to see you, my friend.
Man, I remember I spoke at one of the summits.
That's right.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's right. That's awesome. Yes. Okay. So yeah, let me just set a little bit of background here on Mr. Clarence Fisher. For anybody who does not know him, Clarence has been a member of our community for, what are we talking about? Like a dozen years here, Clarence?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you can put up with me. Anybody that can put up with me for a dozen years is pretty special. So
likewise, because I'm front row, you know that.
So. Yeah, front row. That's right. Absolutely. That's right. That is how we met. Clarence was at one of those events, and I will never forget because Clarence was front row. You know how a lot of us go to those events and we kind of, we're there just to network and, just to, whatever, have some drinks with people late at night or whatever, that type of thing. Clarence was there to learn, right? And he was in the front row taking notes, and I'll never forget because I was speaking and Clarence was like, dialed in, and I was just like, man, this guy is intense and he's here to learn. And I like that. And so we got connected. And I'm very happy to say that we've been friends ever since, which is awesome. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here on the call today as well. So Clarence is, I would say he will not tell you this because he's humble, but I would say that he is one of the most successful agency owners in the community. And he has been very, very consistent over the years in doing the blocking and tackling that you're supposed to do as a marketer in terms of publishing content, speaking, things like that, and making himself an attractive option for people to come to for marketing advice and strategy. And because of that, his business, has grown over the years. And I think what's very cool, and one of the reasons that it kind of prompted this conversation right now, is that right now you are experiencing some of the fastest growth that you've ever experienced. Is that right?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I've been up today since about 1 a.m. And you get those pings where I'm like, you start stringing those days where you're not moving much. You got to go jump on the treadmill in the other room or something and just break it up. But yeah, it's we're running almost 24 hours right now.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's wild. So, and that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah. those are what we call good problems. We'll all take those problems. We'll all take those problems at some point or another. Eric says this will be recorded. Yes, everybody, because we are live streaming this on YouTube. And with the way that works, it will be immediately available right afterwards. So it'll be immediately available right there. So in terms of, let's talk about, because I know all the agency owners, of course, are focused on growth and interested in growth and how do we achieve more growth. You want to just talk a little bit? I mean, I already mentioned, you've been great at building your brand, publishing content consistently. You've got a podcast you do, all those things that we're supposed to be doing as marketers that we tell our customers that they should be doing as well, right? That you're doing consistently in the marketplace there. Is there anything on top of that, any changes that you've made, anything like that you feel like have really contributed to the acceleration here recently?
Man, really, it's crazy since kind of the COVID thing has, bounced back, or people have bounced back, whatever. I just started doing more speaking and more of the stuff. I guess if you say anything new, it hadn't been new. It's been the same stuff that I've been doing for about 10 years. It's just everybody stopped. I'm going to say everybody, but a lot of my competition stopped doing it. Speaking, locking in channel partners, stuff like that. It's just been really big, especially with coming back online. I remember when COVID first started and we were scrambling to tell all of our clients to just, keep advertising. When everybody stops, we're gonna gobble up the share. We're gonna gobble them, and that's one of the things that I just kept preaching to my clients. I can't even say selfishly. I just, after you do this for so long, you really want the people that you're serving to win. And you want them to understand how important it is that at a time like that, when people are going to lay down, this is the time when we need to press the gas and just gobble it up. So
true.
And so many of my clients bought into it.
That's
and
awesome.
when we came back online, I mean, it's like, dude, we came back online and I was everywhere. They were everywhere. And that's what we're like kind of reaping right now, trying to hold on.
Yeah, that is such important advice. And I think particularly right now, as we are, there's a lot of uncertainty in this economy right now as to what the heck's going on. You hear some people talking about recession. You hear at the same time, I just dropped my daughter off in college this last week, and I'm a Hertz guy because I like that I can book my car in advance and it's just waiting there for me. I don't have to wait in lines, anything like that. I pay a premium. I get it. It's expensive, but I like that, right? So I show up at Hertz, and not only is there not a car there waiting for me, but I have to wait for about 2.5 hours for them to get me a car.
Wow.
And I'm like, what's going on? I've never experienced this before. And they literally just can't get any employees. There are just no employees out there. So we've got, practically no unemployment, and we've got, people talking about recession at the same time. So it's a crazy time. And, I'm a big believer, and this is something that I have become more of a believer of over time, is that you've always got to be on offense, right? And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be making smart defensive moves too, right? I mean, look, if the economy is clearly down, well, then we should be looking at all the expenses that it makes sense to clean up. We should be looking at how we can be more efficient in everything that we're doing. But what so many businesses do is exactly what you were warning your clients against, which is, man, this is not the time to take off the gas in terms of your sales, your marketing effort, your branding, your PR, because so much of your competition will, that just as Charles and Linda pointed out here, it creates a void. It creates a void in the marketplace, and the businesses that step up and fill that void are the ones that, 10 years later, when they're saying, how did that company get so big? How did that guy get so rich? Whatever it is, it's because they say, well, when the economy went down and everybody retracted, he was smart and went on offense. And so that's what you've been doing. That's what you've been telling your clients to do. And that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, man, we read those. It's funny to keep myself going. I would read those, what businesses made it out of the depression, and I would seriously be sitting reading that every morning. That's and awesome. Just having that mindset. And we weren't in the depression. I don't know. We may be headed there now.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that's awesome. Good for you. So one of the things that I want to make sure and stress out of what you just told us as well, I think one major point there is to stay on offense, even if the economy, doesn't agree with you. But the second thing is that you didn't find, like, there wasn't the magic funnel that is now flooding your business with new clients. That wasn't it.
Oh, bro.
It wasn't the super duper automation that you put in place, the one super automation that you put in place that now your business is just on fire.
And what's so crazy? I'm not even really that great at, I don't feel like, sales. What I don't like, the reason I started doing podcasts and putting content out and all that stuff is because you started with cold calling, and you were like, everybody's got a cold call, this like a decade ago or whatever. I'm like, the heck with that. I'm not that dude. But what I can do is give away everything I know. Yeah. It's just I just always took the stance of, I'm going to give away everything I know, and if they say, hey, I don't want to do it, you do it, then I'm here. But I'm just going to spend my time kind of just teaching, Yeah. And that's pretty awesome.
Adding value, which is the thing that you've always done very, very well. And when you say maybe you're not that great at selling, that's what makes you great at selling, is because you're adding value and you're focused less on convincing. And that's the best way to sell, because people don't want to be convinced. They don't want to be sold. They want to see who you are, what you do, learn from you. And that is how they become sold, right? And particularly in today's world, that's absolutely the case, because customers, prospects can find so much information out there. to learn from without having to sit and talk to a salesperson. And so that's their preferred way of buying, is to do research and to educate themselves. And so when you're out there putting out the content, then that gives them, something to associate with you and to learn from you, and to be sold just by, like you said, just being educated and getting that value. So look, content marketing, adding value in the sales process, adding value in your marketing. And the other thing that I just really wanted to stress is that you're not doing that one magic thing that is creating rapid growth. It's that you are out there. You're out there. You're putting your face out there. You're speaking. You're getting up on stages. You're speaking on virtual stages and podcasts. You're putting content out there to demonstrate your expertise. You are, like you said, finding channel partners that can give you more leverage in terms of accessing your ideal prospects more quickly, and getting your message out there. It's all the fundamentals, and there is never any one of those. This is the thing that I wish everybody just would get into their head. There is never any just one of those that is the trick. It's that you're applying the fundamentals in all those areas, right?
I know you don't. I know you're not telling me to do this, but it's and all that stuff's in Leverage Academy. It's all there. I mean, that's where it it started, and it just never everything that came out, that would come out over the years, I stuck with that one thing from way back in 2000 whatever.
Yeah.
And just ran with it. But yeah, I'm not
Awesome.
techie at all.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So let's talk about the one thing that I think that you did make some shifts around recently in your sales approach. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but so in the R4 sales process, which is a sales process that Clarence and I have been synced up on for years, just an approach to how we talk about and present marketing to small business owners, so that they can understand it, and they can understand our value proposition and what we can do for them, because we're speaking in their language. These 4 R's: reputation, reach, and depending on which version of it that you're talking about, resell, referral, or retargeting. So that was 5 right there. But anyway, there's some different versions of it. So, but we're speaking a language that they understand. And so one part of the process, and particularly when it comes to selling systems as a service, as I call SaaS, one part of the process that I've really highlighted again for people here over this last year is the use of an audit, to help get that initial kind of evaluation and feedback back to your prospects or customers on the marketing opportunities that are available to them, that they're missing out on currently. Kind of give them a report card, if you will, of where they're at right now. Is there a way that you have started selling that, presenting that you feel like has made a difference for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's been it's been a game changer, actually, with the people that are coming through that take on. I mean, the audit is number one now. So people are purchasing audits, and then from the we run the audit, and then like today we had 2 come in yesterday. The team onboarded them, ran them. I'll probably deliver them in the next few days. Mm-hmm. But from those audits, we have another conversation, Zoom, and go over the results. And really, I'll tell you, I'm doing those audits so kind of automated even now, to where it's a video. They get the video, and then we set the Zoom call. We get on the Zoom call, and we sell them the packages that way. And so it creates we're really quickly getting to where that whole I'm taking the phone call and I'm dancing for you kind of thing I don't really have time for that anymore. I mean,
So good. And the reality is you didn't have time for it before. It's just a difference. It's a difference in how you're positioning that is making a difference in how prospects are responding to you and valuing those conversations with you, and ultimately valuing your services because of the way that you're presenting yourself and you're presenting this process. Here's what we do first. Here's how much it costs. Here's what you're going to get from it, right? And here's why it's necessary and valuable. I wonder. I wonder if you notice. I don't know. I don't wonder if it's true, because I know it's true. Are you finding that you're also getting a better quality of customer?
Oh yeah, 100. And that's, that's part of the not having time for the other stuff, is you're working with people who are able, ready, and able, kind of how, Dan Kennedy talked about, people who are ready and able to buy. It's just a matter of, hey, can we work together? We're on a whole nother level with that. We're having conversations, and if there's not a fit, then yeah, there's not a fit. But we're people gonna get it done. We're here to get it done. You're not calling and it's like, hey, I talked to this other Facebook guy, and I'm talking to 3 Facebook guys today.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. No.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So the audit concept was something that we developed back when we were selling IT services. And it was for the exact reason that there's really two reasons for it. One, we found that in our sales process, we were dancing for people. Like you talked about, we were dancing for people because they would ask us all these questions and we felt like we had to answer them all before we could sell them. It was like we had to come up with all these answers, and to come up with all these answers, we spent all this time and doing all this hustle to then put together a proposal to then try and pitch somebody. And a bunch of those pitches wouldn't go well. The people would finally say, hey, look, we don't need any of that. Sorry. And we realized, oh, geez, we're just wasting our time. And so it was actually, to some degree or another, out of desperation, that we said, okay, look, we've got to start charging for that process. And in order to start charging for that process, we've got to make sure it's valuable so that we feel good charging for it. And so we said, we're going to start now every customer relationship with a paid audit, where we are going to get paid to learn about their IT strengths and weaknesses. We're going to give them a really nice report back to them so that they know whether they hire us or not. Ultimately, here's where our strengths and weaknesses are from an IT perspective. So if they choose to hire somebody else, they can still get value from that report in hiring somebody else. But then we're getting paid for that. And then, exactly as you said, we're sitting down with them, we're going through a call, and we're saying, here's how our services would go about resolving these weaknesses that you have, and then continuing to maintain and support this on an ongoing basis. And that completely changed our business. It completely changed our business because, I think about this all the time when it comes to sales and marketing. You get the fish for the bait that you put out there, right? You get the fish for the bait that you put out there. If you go fishing and you go fishing with a certain type of bait, you're going to get the little fish. And if you go fishing with a different type of bait, you're going to get the big fish. And in sales, it's the exact same thing. And I see people all the time say, Mike, why can't I get those customers who are better customers, who are willing to pay more and all that good stuff? Well, then I go and take a look at what you're putting out in the marketplace, and you're putting the wrong stuff into the marketplace. You're putting the stuff into the marketplace that's going to attract cheap people, non-strategic people, right? Versus when you put out good quality content and then you say, hey, the first thing that we do, here's our process for how we get success, put successful marketing systems in place for our customers. The first step of that process is this. Here's how much it costs. At the end of it, here will be the outcome. And then you can make the decision as to whether or not it makes good sense for us to work together. And we'll make that decision as well. We're going to see if it's a good fit after that audit. And when you do that, you are getting a business that is strategic enough and has enough money to know that that makes sense. It makes good sense. that before I commit to a long-term relationship with a marketing partner, I should do this initial arrangement with them to learn from them, get to know them, see how they would address these issues, see how we work together. And then if it makes sense, great. Then we'll continue moving forward. That makes good sense for them. It makes good sense for you. It's just good business sense. And a business that is making good strategic decisions will not have a problem with that. So you get a totally different quality of customer, which ultimately means a much, much more profitable and healthy business. Because really in a service business, it's all about the quality of the customers. All about the quality of the customers. You get good quality customers and you get a bunch of them stacked up and you've got a great business that's making really good money and is not that hard to run. You get a bunch of needy, non-strategic, broke customers. It's not a fun business, right?
You know what's crazy is it's a fairly recent change, and I'm not going to say I did not expect it to work, but it was a change, and it was a paradigm shift for me.
That's awesome.
To do that. But the first one sold, and the second one sold, and the third one sold, and then it's like, okay, well, let's have some fun with this, and let's pitch a room and see how that works. And then it's like, okay, well, there's 5,
right?
So then it gets real fun.
So you sold 5 in one shot. You got up in front of a room, up on a stage, and sold 5 in one shot, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that changed your feeling about how to sell, didn't it?
Yeah, and it was a bad presentation, man. It was I was heartbroken. I remember sitting in the car with my wife, and she's like, because I hadn't spoken like 3 years because of COVID or 2 of that, and I was like, that sucked, didn't it? She was like, okay. But when you're teaching and you're training and you're helping people, and then at the end, it's like, well, hey, we can do a deeper dive into this for you. What everything that I just shared, we can dive into it. People, the people that I noticed that the people that were raising their hand and following were the people who were already advertising, already had budget. Mm-hmm. They were just like, hey, this looks like somebody who knows how to make this stuff work. I've got I've even got all these different vendors, and that's what I'm finding is that we're helping people who already have an AdWords person. They already have a whatever person,
Because that's awesome. Because those are the businesses that then have the resources to be really good at customers, and they're strategic. They're making investments. That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. So what we are referring to some degree or another here, and I say to some degree or another because obviously everybody takes a version of this and runs with it in a way that is right for them. But this is how I communicate this process. The R4 Surge to SaaS. This is my sales system that is in Leverage Academy. It's part of my Services at Scale programs. And you can see here, this very first step is an audit. And so the topic of our call today here, we're going to transition here into, okay, how do we design services so that when we're bringing on customers fast, that we can design services that we can also execute on fast and implement fast, and that are going to get good results, and that are going to get good results over time for our customers so they stick with us for a long time. Tie-Dye Digital asking, is the video blurry? Is the video blurry for anybody else? It looks clean on my end, but just want to make sure we're doing okay technically. But we'll keep on rolling. You guys just let me know. Okay, looks like it's fine for others. So this audit, one of the really, really important things that this audit sets you up to do, which is another mistake that is often made in the agency business, is that, you identify this variety of things that could be done for your customers. And then unfortunately what happens is, everybody's busy. Nobody has time for anything, right? And so you get into this long process of delivering the services that you know you need to deliver over time. So maybe they need a new website, they need a reputation system, they need a follow-up marketing, they need all these things, but you don't get them done all at once. You just sign this customer on, and implementing those things can then end up getting drawn out over the next year, or very oftentimes what happens is it never really gets done. It just feels like one of those lingering checklists that's out there that doesn't make for a really good impression, with a customer. And so in this surge to SaaS, specifically here, I'm referring to SaaS as systems as a service, okay? And right here, you can see here this language, signature system. So what I recommend that agencies do is that you build a system as your offer, okay? And a system, I'm referring to a combination of a variety of different components all working together. So for 99% of small businesses, they don't need a huge marketing team. They don't need custom, things developed. But what they do need is they need a solid set of tools in place to help them. So that's one part of a system. They need a solid set of campaigns and strategies around that, around their marketing. That's the second part of the system, and that they're going to deliver using the tools that they're going to use. So email system, SMS system, reputation review system, things like that. And then a third component is that they need somebody who is, directing this whole thing, that is making sure that the marketing is actually getting executed, that you're learning and that you're adapting to changes in the marketplace. You combine all of those things together and you have a nice system, right? You have a complete system that you can take to those businesses and say, hey, look, we can help you with everything that you need help with. And we do it by bringing these variety of components together in this combined system. So this surge is a surge to that system. It is a surge to putting that system in place. And so by a surge, what I mean is that when you've done that audit and you've identified the things that you can do for that customer, it is my recommendation that you do a surge and you knock out as much of that in one push as possible, so that you're not trickling out this improved marketing system over the next year to your customers. What you're doing is you are putting it in place largely on day one, so that they can then benefit from it for the next year that they're working with you, because they have all these awesome, components in place. And so that's really these steps right here, the audit, the surge, and the signature system are really the foundation of how I believe that everybody should be looking at how you put these services in place, design services and implement services successfully for your customers. And that may bring up in your mind, I think in anybody's mind, you may be thinking, Mike, that sounds like a tremendous amount of work. Like, how am I, Clarence is already not sleeping. How are we going to do all this work for the customers? And that's where designing your system and designing your services effectively and using the right tools such as GoHighLevel becomes so critically important. And you have to do that when you're servicing small businesses, or you will never get ahead, because you've got to have the leverage of a well-designed system that's taking as much advantage as of assets and automation. That's my phrase, right? Assets and automation. You've got to leverage assets and automation as much as possible to deliver those services for your customers, or you will never get ahead. You'll be trading your time and trading your talent, and every new customer that you bring on board will just be one less hour of sleep for Clarence in the next week. So we can't do that, right? There's only so many hours in the day. Michael Booker says the signature system was something I took for granted, but made all the difference when implemented. Selling something proprietary has much more impact than simply offering retargeting. That's right. Absolutely, Michael. So what Michael is referring to there, because I didn't really get into it, but this signature system should be a thing. It should be your proprietary product, your proprietary approach. It should have a name to it so that it is not just easily compared to, any other thing in the marketplace. You are bringing together this variety of components in your unique way, and you've got to be marketing it that way, right? Marketing 101 is differentiation, and we can differentiate our services by having our own signature system. So just like I've got the R4 sales system, that is my signature system for agencies, right? It is the R4 sales system. There is not another R4 sales system out there. And it is my proprietary approach that has assets and tools and all that good stuff to help people sell successfully. So a number of people have asked where this comes from. Yes, again, this is inside of, this is the R4 sales system is a core part of the Services That Scale approach, and is available in my training programs.
Sorry, I took that detour, man.
What's that?
I said, sorry, I took that detour towards this, but
no, that's all good.
Always pay homage.
So let me real quick, actually, before we jump into the service design, because it will be helpful for anybody who's not real familiar with the R4 sales system to see this, because this will be a foundation of just kind of how we communicate about this. So I mentioned before those R's. So you can see right here, reputation, resell, reach, and retarget. And again, different people take a slightly different approach to this. And that is absolutely fine. You should be using the approach that makes sense for you and your business and your niche that you're providing services to, and also just what's comfortable for you as well. But reputation, resell, reach, and retarget. These are, other than the word retarget, you can talk to any business owner in America and they understand these words. They know what a reputation is. They know it's important. They know it needs to be protected, right? They know what resell is, even if they couldn't maybe exactly define it for you in the way that you would want it to be defined. They understand it very quickly. Yeah, okay, if I work hard to get a customer, I want to resell them over time so that I can have them coming back and generating more business for me. Reach, I need to reach more customers. And then you've got retarget here, which is the only one that's kind of fancy marketing language, right? Which is that we're going to use campaigns and technology to make sure we stay in front of people so that they don't forget about us. This is the foundation of how we have conversations with small businesses. It's also the foundation then of how we'll go about designing our services and designing that whole surge, which is why I want to share it with you real quick, because you'll see in the surge, in the service design that we're going to go through here in a second, you'll see these R's again. So I just want to make sure that you had some context for what those are. Clarence, how long have we been talking about R's?
Man, when you were like, use what you want, I'm like, well, how about you use it the way it was designed originally? Just use it the way it was. Man,
how about we stick with what works, right?
Right. It's been a long time. I actually switched up to that new school, new age version, and it worked after a couple of times. So
you said you have to get comfortable with it a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Makes total sense.
That's awesome. Let's see here. So this is then what I call the service alignment tool. Okay. So we get a lot of agencies that say to me, hey, Mike, what services should I be offering to my customers? And the answer is, the real answer is, what are the services that they need, right? That's the real answer, because depending on what industry you're providing services to, the needs will vary. And so everything that you're doing as a business should be customer first, right? Let's start with the customer, who it is that we're servicing and what do they need. And when we design our business from that perspective, it's hard not to have success, because that's what business is all about, right? We've got these people out there that need something. They're looking for a solution. They're going to pay money for it. If you understand what their needs are and you design their solution to meet it, then you're all synced up, and sales and everything else becomes much, much easier. So this service alignment tool is meant to provide some organization around those 4 R's. So you can see there: reputation, resell, reach, and retarget, so that you have a bit of a checklist, if you will, by each of those R's to be able to start kind of thinking through, okay, in this particular niche that I'm servicing, what is it that they need, right? And again, that will vary to some degree or another, but I can tell you that every business on the planet needs to enhance and protect their reputation. They need to resell customers so that they have more profitable relationships. They need to reach more customers so that they can expand the overall pie at their business. And they need to stay in front of people, because we live in an age of distraction. So every single business on the planet needs those 4 R's. So now we've got a nice, easy way, again, to organize our thinking, organize our conversations, and organize how we're going to think about designing our services. Okay. If anybody's wondering where we're going with this here, by the way, over the next, half an hour or whatever it is, we're going to take this down to the level of how do we do this inside of HighLevel then? How do we execute some of this in HighLevel? Okay. And the reason why specifically HighLevel, this is not just an outright plug for HighLevel, although I am their biggest cheerleader, because I am a huge believer in the value of the platform for your business and for your customers. So I'm not shy about plugging the living heck out of it, but I think it is the best single platform that I can demonstrate what it is that we're trying to do to deliver these services in a scalable way. So if you are not using HighLevel, and if you have some other, platforms that you're going to be using to service your customers, no problem. You can still take this kind of same approach and map it out into whatever tools or services or assets that you're going to use to help your customers. Okay. So we've got this service alignment tool. So under reputation, okay, reputation is something I think a lot of people get confused with, because they just think reviews, right? Like my reputation is 4.5 stars. My reputation is 3.5 stars, right? On Google or Yelp or whatever it is. And of course, that is a major part of reputation in today's world, that online, kind of review factory that's out there, if you will. But there's a lot of other things that contribute to your reputation, right? If you want to evaluate, let's say, a restaurant's reputation, and you call that restaurant to make reservations and nobody ever picks up the phone, does that impact how you feel about them? Right? If you call them and you leave a message and nobody ever calls you back, does that impact how you feel about them? If you can't make a reservation online, so you have to call to get a reservation, but nobody's picking up the phone, does that impact their reputation? Of course it does, right? If you try and pull up their website on your phone to make that reservation, or to call them, and you can't even find their phone number on their website, or it's some janky old website that on mobile is not formatted correctly, and you can't even figure out how to navigate the thing, find the menu, find the reservation button, does that impact their reputation? Of course it does. So all of these things impact reputation. And if you aren't really aware of that from a marketing service provider's perspective, you miss out on a lot of opportunities to help your customers, because just take a look at how Google is evaluating businesses. If you don't have a mobile website, Google sees that as a knock on your reputation, and they won't rank you as high, right? Because they're looking at you and they're looking at that business and going, there might be something wrong with that business. It's not staying up to date. It's not staying current. It's not serving our customers who want easy access to information effectively, because they don't have a mobile optimized website. So you will literally lose in the search engines because your reputation is getting beat up if you don't have a mobile optimized website. So all of these things contribute to reputation, and Google and everybody else out there knows it. They understand it, whether or not they really can even, right in touch with a restaurant and you can't get their website to pull up easy on your phone. You may not go, oh gosh darn it, they don't have a mobile optimized website. But the fact that you can't get that website to pull up impacts your opinion of that restaurant. So all of these things can be sold and delivered related to reputation. Google My Business Management, review management, Yext services, a website, a mobile optimized website, web chat on their website so that people can get a hold of you easier and get a response, missed call text back services so that when people call, they actually get a response from you. Because I'll tell you what, right now, man, you call 100 different restaurants right now, and the ones that don't pick up live, try and get a call back from them. See how many you get a call back from them. It is not pretty. It is not pretty at all. Call tracking, right? So that if they're doing any sort of investment in marketing services and want to be able to know what's working, and is our team picking up the phone on time, and are they using the right scripts when they pick up the phone? We can do call tracking and recording, things like that. Calendar services so that customers can easily book a business's services, make reservations, or book that salon appointment, or book the audit, or the kitchen analysis or whatever for that kitchen remodeler to come out to their home and evaluate their kitchen so they can start a proposal, things like that. An opportunity pipeline. You may be thinking, Mike, how does having an opportunity pipeline impact reputation? Well, I'll tell you, most small businesses do not use a CRM in any sort of way effectively. And so when a deal comes into their business, an opportunity comes into their business, and they have no structure to know where that opportunity is in the sales process and when they should be following up and how often they should be following up, it impacts not only their sales, but it impacts their reputation. Okay. The conversations feature inside of HighLevel so that you can have visibility into all the conversations that are going on with all of your prospects and customers across your team from all of your various channels in one place. How many small businesses right now have, who knows how many unanswered comments on their Instagram account, right? Or on their Google, right? Or, a Google My Business listing, or on any other thing that they've set up. And they just don't know that the comments are even there. They don't know that people are asking questions there and they're not getting back to them in a timely manner. That's a huge percentage of businesses. With conversations, you can bring all of those conversations into one place, which impacts reputation. Okay. Lead magnets. Okay. This is, again, thinking about different industries now. What if you are a tax professional? And you're trying to look for ways to differentiate, or let's do a real estate professional. Okay, you're a real estate agent, and you're trying to differentiate between all the other real estate agents that are out there because there's so many of them, right? What if you have lead magnets out there in the marketplace that are the 7 best school districts in San Diego for parents to know to help them make their home buying decisions? The most expensive neighborhoods in San Diego, a guide to the neighborhoods in San Diego that have the highest resale value, 5 years or later after purchase. We did an analysis, and we'll tell you which neighborhoods, homes hold their value the most when the economy tanks, right? If you have those things out there as lead magnets, how does that impact your reputation as somebody who's adding value in the marketplace versus all the other real estate agents who are just sticking a sign in a front yard or sponsoring the grocery cart thing, the ad in the grocery cart, right? Lead magnets present you as an expert, as a resource, as somebody who's adding value, as somebody who's educating, which has a massive impact on your reputation, which is why Clarence has been able to grow his agency, because he's out there putting content out there that positions him as an expert and a leader in his marketplace, right? And so you can go through these R's. Not all of these things are going to apply to your particular niche, right, that you're servicing. And I keep saying they're not all going to apply to your particular niche because, Clarence, what's one of the most important things to grow an agency in the small business space?
One of the most important
related to niche. Am I going to stump you?
I don't know which one it could be.
There's so many of them. Picking a niche. Picking a niche to market to, and picking a niche to design your services around makes your marketing more effective. It makes your sales more effective. It makes the services that you're designing more effective. And it makes your service delivery infinitely easier and more effective and more profitable. Because if every single time you sign on a new customer, you have to go through this list every time because it's a different niche, it's a different industry, and you have to learn it every single time, guess what? You are going to have a very inefficient business. Versus if you do, like my friend Michael Booker is talking about here, and you design a system for an industry and you say, this is the R4 restaurant growth marketing system, and all you do is market to restaurants, then pretty soon you're going to know every single restaurant needs these 7 things, these 5 things, these 6 things, and these 2 things, and you are going to have them built into your system that you build once. And now you can take that system and deliver it over and over and over and over again to a bunch of different customers with incredible efficiency because you're not starting over from scratch each time, right? You're building this successful asset. You are productizing your services. You've now turned your services into this product that you can sell over and over and over again, right? And that's when we start having real scalability and success in our business. Right, Clarence?
Boring is good.
Boring is good.
I fought that for so long, man. I remember sitting at breakfast with a buddy of mine that owns a couple of Chick-fil-A's, and I was like, man, don't you get tired of making chicken? And he said, well, number one, I'm not making the chicken. And I thought,
yes, I love that.
As I'm sitting here trying to figure out, what I need to get back to, and we're sitting here, and he's all relaxed. And he said, man, boring is profitable. Mm-hmm. So I get to be here with you, and I get to go do cool things. So I took that with me, man. He's like, I'm not making the chicken.
I'm not making the chicken. God, I love that. You're gonna hear me saying that over and over again. I'm not making the chicken.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, he doesn't get bored of making money.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, let's make some money instead of making the chicken, right? Okay, so this is a good question. So Don then says, you price those services a la carte or packages with XYZ included or what? Okay, so we'll talk about that here pretty quickly, Don. Or Dan, excuse me, I'm sorry. I saw Johnson and my brain went immediately to Don Johnson, Miami Vice. Look at that.
Oh, bro.
Right. So before we that, because I forgot to answer the question. People are asking, do you charge for the audit? How much do you charge for the audit? In my experience, depending on who you're servicing, how high a volume you want it to be, do you want to have special promotions around it, all that type of stuff, somewhere between $500 and $2,500 for the audit. And then one of the things that I've always done is I have always then made the offer to customers, hey, it's $1,000 for the audit. But then if you end up signing on for our services, we're just going to credit the audit right back to your account. So essentially, it's a very low risk proposition for them if they think that they're likely to work with us, right? So that's a thing that I often did. I don't know, Clarence, if that's similar to your experience or strategy.
I have not done that yet.
You're just charging
for the audit, and then the setup, and then the monthly. But it makes sense, though. It makes sense to do that.
Yeah, but hey, you don't have to, That sounds good too.
Whatever you can look in the mirror and make it happen, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So cool. So look, we have theoretically, let's just pretend now, that we have gone through that list and we've said, hey, here's a variety of different services that we should offer to our customers to create a successful marketing system for them. Okay. So just to play around with this a little bit and to demonstrate it, I'm going to say, okay, what if I was selling a marketing system to digital agencies, right? What are the things that I would want to provide in a complete marketing system for digital agencies so that they could get up and running as quickly as possible and have everything that they need to be successful? I would want to give them a website. I'd want that website to be mobile optimized. I'd want it to have call tracking on there so that they can track their marketing campaigns and what's getting results. I'd want them to have lead magnets, opt-in forms. I'd want them to be able to have a system for booking people into a sales call and following up on making sure that as many people as possible actually show up for that sales call. So appointment reminders and things like that. I'd want to have some follow-up marketing campaigns, email marketing campaigns, SMS marketing campaigns, maybe some phone calls scheduled to make sure that once we have a prospect that's shown some interest with us, that we're actually following up to try and convert them into a customer. Okay, these are all things that if I were to want to deliver, again, a marketing system for an agency, I'd want to provide them with all of those things so that on day one, with some relatively minor customization, I could have them set up with a system that's designed to work, that covers all of these important areas of their business. I might design some ad campaigns that they could run, right, to promote their lead magnets or to promote maybe like an educational webinar, things like that. So to demonstrate then what we would do if we had decided on those sets of services using that service alignment guide, how would we bring this to life in high level? So let me just share with you then an example using my high level account. Let me find the right tab because you know I have 10,000 tabs open because that is what I do. Let's see here. I think that this is the right one. Yes. All right, cool. Can you guys see? Yeah, let me.
Oh, inefficient.
So this is inside of my high level account. Okay. And this is my R4 sales system, all mapped out inside of high level. Okay. All built out inside of high level. So again, remember I told you that in my R4 sales system, there's all these things that, we do. We take somebody through an audit, we have a sales conversation with them. We do, all these different things. So inside of my high level account, I have designed all of that in here. So let's just start here real quick. Actually, let's start with the sites tab. So inside of high level, we can have websites. Okay, so here is the website built inside of high level. And you can see here, the home page, case study page, services page, pricing plans, blog, testimonials, about us. These are all things that you would want on an agency website, right? So here's a website. I've actually got several website themes in here so that depending on what my customer wanted, I could choose between one of these 4 different themes, do some customization for them, and set them up a new website very quickly. Okay, so that's a website. So that's one of the assets that I've created and that I'm using the tools to deliver that asset as part of my service, right? So again, a system is a combination, tools plus assets plus services. So tools in high level, assets, the website design themes, services, website hosting, website maintenance, website design, customization of that template. All those things together form a key part of my system. Okay. I would also want to have a sales funnel that could attract prospects to a landing page, get them to download a lead magnet, and then take them through a process where then I'm exposing them to our different types of services. You can see my 4 R's right here, and then putting them on a sales call scheduling page, and then doing a qualification survey before that actual call. And then ultimately, perhaps, and I say perhaps because not everybody does it this way, but then sending them to a page where I've got my pricing plans on there. So my pricing and my plans on there. So I've got all of this built out as a sales funnel. Okay. And then what else would we want to have? We'd want to have some marketing automations to make sure that, to make sure that when prospects come into our pipeline, that we're doing the right things, right? That we're following up with them. Okay, so I call that the chase formula. So somebody opts in and we want to make sure and send them an email right away. We add them to our Facebook custom audiences for retargeting them. We create an opportunity in our opportunity pipeline. We notify our team that somebody just opted in. We do another email, we do another email, we do another email, and we close the opportunity if we haven't been able to connect with the prospect by the end of all this. I recommend as well that people put phone calls and SMS messages in here and stuff like that. So those are all steps that you can add in here. But I've got these workflows, these automations all built out so that the basic sales and marketing functions that you want to make sure are happening correctly at your business are happening, right? Following up, you got to follow up. When somebody books an appointment, we got to make sure that they get a reminder for that appointment so that they actually show up, right? So we've got an automated workflow to make sure that that happens. Okay. So all of this is built in here. Now, in those automations, there's also, communication that has to happen, right? And so you want to make sure that you've got templated communication depending on, what it is that's happening. So here's a lead magnet follow-up. Here's no call scheduled chase, no call scheduled chase 2, missed call text back, send somebody a free trial. If you do that sort of thing, send payment requests, sales call no-show messaging. So we've got all of these things built into HighLevel so that, again, if you're an agency and you're looking to get started or you're looking for, a system to start kind of building your sales and marketing processes around, here it is. It's all in here and it's all ready to go. It just needs to be customized just a little bit. Okay. And I say just a little bit, some people want to customize it more than others and they have the ability to do that. But the reality is I'm comfortable enough with HighLevel and I'm not a technical guy at all. But I use HighLevel every single day in my business. I have multiple businesses. Every single thing I'm doing is running on HighLevel now. And so I can use it. I can use it effectively. And I can probably set up a brand new sales and marketing system from scratch using those assets I just showed you for a new agency in a half a day. If I just sat down and said, 4 hours. Now, most importantly, though, I don't have to make the chicken. I don't have to make the chicken. It's easy enough for somebody else to go in there and do that same thing, because one of the things that that HighLevel has done so well is these custom values, which is so amazing, right? So these custom values are these dynamic kind of placeholders throughout the system. So right here, you can see here, what is the name of your lead magnet? So I can go in here right now in this one page, custom values, and I can update the name of the lead magnet. So it's the R4 Guide to Growing Your Restaurant Super Fast, right? That's the name of our lead magnet. When I update this here, it's going to update.
I don't see your screen. Are you
see my screen? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Sorry. Thank you. So So here is this custom values page inside of HighLevel. And so again, these little dynamic kind of placeholders that you can use throughout those assets that you built in HighLevel. You can use these on web pages. You can use these on landing pages. You can use these in email campaigns, text message campaigns, okay? You can, instead of hard coding in a name of a lead magnet, you can just put this variable there. And then when you are customizing this marketing system that I just showed you, you can just come into this one page, type in the name of the lead magnet right here, and everywhere that this variable exists, it will then just automatically be updated. So you can really quickly train somebody relatively junior to complete an audit for your customer, get all the information that you need, and then go through this right here and fill in the blanks. And when they do, that system is going to be updated 75% of the way that's necessary. That's hot. That is how you get scalable, profitable services right here.
System, that's sweet.
Right? The system situation. Jennifer, one of our awesome members of our community, who's an action taker, who is getting it done, by the way. It says, my 19-year-old sets up all our accounts. SOPs are the key. And by the way, if anybody needs some help with SOPs, Jennifer is your gal because she is the systems queen.
Love it.
But that's right. She's got her 19-year-old doing the setups because not that her, I mean, I'm sure her 19-year-old is very bright and very talented, but it doesn't require somebody with a ton of marketing experience and certainly not real deep technical know-how. You don't have to be a coder or any of that type of stuff to now be able to go in and get this done. Yeah, Dan says Junior makes the chicken. That's right. So I'm using this as an example because I have this all set up for agencies because this is what I do, right? But if I were doing this for restaurants, it would be essentially the exact same thing, right? I would say, okay, a restaurant should have a birthday ad campaign, right? And so what I would do is I would build a birthday opt-in landing page. So somebody for their birthday, you come in here, enter your name, enter your birthday, enter your email and phone number. And on your birthday every year, we're going to send you, this really awesome, special offer, right? And so somebody goes and fills in that form, and then we're going to send them these automated follow-up campaigns on their birthday saying, hey, here's, your coupon for a free dinner or a free bottle of wine or whatever it is for your birthday. And all that will happen through an automated workflow that I'll create here for a birthday campaign. And that landing page asset that I created, and those things will then be designed into HighLevel for me to then share with all of my new customers that I bring on that are restaurants. I'm going to say, hey, one of the most successful campaigns that every restaurant should have is a birthday campaign and an anniversary campaign and a VIP club and whatever. And we've got those already built in here for you, Mr. Customer. Or we say that, that's what we do for our customers is we design and implement these amazing proven campaigns and we'll get you up and running, right? So when you build those assets and build it on top of this technology like HighLevel, it becomes super efficient to put all this in place for your customers. Okay. So now you may be wondering, okay, Mike, I see all of this, but what do you mean? How do I put all of this in place for my customers? Okay. Really good question. And really important, this is one of the most valuable things that HighLevel has built into this system is this concept of snapshots. Okay, so a snapshot is exactly as it sounds. It's like you're literally taking a picture of all of the assets and settings of an account in HighLevel so that you can then just drop that snapshot into a new account and they'll have all of those things. Okay. So if you design a snapshot for the industry that you're servicing, and you make this kind of generic version of it, like I just showed you here. Okay, so let's go to my marketing email templates. Okay, and I'm going to do email lead magnet, email follow-up, number 3 here, right? And you can see how I've got these custom variables in here. Hi, contact, first name. Would you be interested in connecting on a quick call to discuss custom value, my business name? Okay. Use your email signature. You can even see down right here, copyright. I've got these things are all custom variables. Custom values, excuse me, is what they're called. So I've made a generic version of this follow-up campaign so that I can drop this into anybody's account and just say, hey guys, just fill out the custom value fields, and it's going to automatically pull your business name right here. And it's going to pull your email signature name right here. Right? So you're going to create a generic version of this ideal setup. And then when you sign on a new customer, you're just going to you're just going to install this snapshot into the high-level account that you set up for them, so that all of these assets are in place and ready to go when you turn those customers onto the platform. Okay, and so that's why there was somebody in here who mentioned, yeah, Dan says, pretty intimidating when you open up a new GoHighLevel account and it's all empty. That's right, and that's what you don't want to do for your customers. That's why I'm telling you, you should not be selling just tools. You should not be selling just high level. You should be selling your system. Because exactly as Dan just pointed out here, it's pretty intimidating, especially for somebody who's not a marketing professional. If they sit down to all of a sudden log into this set of tools that they're just like, what is this? But when it's a system, when it's a marketing system and you've got everything in there for them already, set up for them already, then it is impressive. It's not just a set of tools. It's not a blank canvas. It's them logging in and going, oh, there's my website. Oh, there's my email campaigns. Awesome. I just gotta update that. Yep. Awesome. I can do that, right? Because it's not so intimidating when it's all built out in there for them. Okay. So how do we do this with snapshots? Let me just show you, because it's super, super easy. So when you have an account created, okay, so I've got all these different accounts in my high level, right? So what I do is I go and I create a new high level sub account. I build out this templated version inside of a sub account. So I just create an account and I just build this templated version of the ideal system in here. Okay. And then at the agency level, so if you go down right here, so I can switch to agency view. Okay. And I can see all of these accounts in here. And now you can see right here, this account snapshots. And you can see these are all my snapshots that I've created. Right. So the one that we were looking at right here is the R4 sales system snapshot. Okay. So I've got all of these snapshots that I've created. I can come right in here to snapshots and I can say, okay, I just signed on a new restaurant customer and they get this snapshot. I can just go right here, select and create new account. So when I go to set up that new account, boom, it just automatically loads the snapshot in here, right from here. Awesome, right? Now, you could say, okay, well, how do I go about then creating a snapshot from an account? So let's just say there's this Mike's Sandbox right here, okay? And I want to check out this account, and for whatever reason, this Mike's Sandbox, I really designed and dialed in perfectly to be the perfect account. I can go right up here to actions, okay? I'm sorry, up here is where I'm going to load the snapshot in. So this is a different way of loading a snapshot in. So I just opened up this account. I just pulled open this account. I can go right in here and I can say actions, load snapshot. and then I can pick any of the snapshots that I want. So here's a birthday campaign snapshot, and I can just load this in here. I can hit proceed. It will ask me then, hey, Mike, do you really want to put all of this stuff in there? Or do you want to put just some of this stuff in here? I can skip what I want to skip. I can actually break it down into the individual assets and skip, they don't need that birthday funnel. Just give them that birthday funnel, right? So then I can choose what assets I want to be delivered in there, hit proceed. It's going to look at that account and say, hey, you've got some conflicts in here. Do you want to overwrite that? Okay, so it's giving you a opportunity to say, no, I don't want to overwrite that, so that you can then fix whatever you want to fix and determine which version of that you want to be in there. Okay, so I can just go into an account right here and load that snapshot. It'll take, I don't know, it'll take a couple of minutes to load all of those assets then into that account, just like that. Now that account has all of those assets in there ready to go. Okay. And then there is, okay, well, how do we actually create the snapshot? And give me a second here, because I always get lost. There's a couple of different, right here. Okay. There's a couple of different places where they have this, snapshot tab, and it's like, okay, which one do I go into to actually create them? So here I am, I'm in settings at my agency level, and you can see right here, snapshot on the left, and then over here on the right, create new snapshot. So I can create a new snapshot, and it's going to say, okay, which account do you want to create a snapshot from? So I'm going to do test snapshot. It's going to be the name of it. And then I'm going to pick whatever account that I built that in. So let's just say I built, this Nautilus Analytics to be a perfect version of, my marketing system. And I hit save right there. And it's just going to take a picture of that account and make it so that now I can just use that snapshot to load into any account that I've set up. Okay, so that's how you create a new snapshot. It's as easy as that. And I already showed you the different ways that you can then load in a snapshot. You can go right here to accounts, and you can say, in this account, I'm going to go in here to view details in this sub account. I'm going to hit actions, and I'm going to load a snapshot. Okay. Or I can go into my snapshots here. So you can see there's snapshots again. Go to my snapshots, and I can go here and create a new account using this snapshot from the very get-go. Okay. The third way that you can do it is you can actually sell an automated install using the SaaS configurator on HighLevel. So I can actually create different plans that people can sign up for. And when they sign up for it, you can see right here, attached snapshot, automatically pre-build the snapshots to new accounts. So if that restaurant were to sign up for my premium $4.97 a month restaurant super duper marketing system, then when they sign up for that, the account will automatically be created by HighLevel using the account, using the snapshot that I tell it to use right here. Okay. So pretty darn slick. I mean, not pretty darn slick, revolutionary, the way that HighLevel has made it so that we can, very easily, very efficiently take this marketing system that we've created. I mean, it just blows my mind. Like, literally, I'm gonna date myself here. I'm gonna sound like the old man. I'm gonna tell you about how I used to have to walk to school, uphill in the snow both ways. But when I started my marketing service business, and I took this exact same approach that I'm teaching right now and scaled it to millions of dollars a year in recurring revenue very, very quickly, because the services are very scalable and can be delivered with recurring revenue, very efficiently. But back then, I had a team, Clarence knows this, he saw the video. I had a team of 35 people very quickly within a year of starting that business, because when I was selling these service plans so fast that when we were selling websites so fast that in order to set up the websites, I had 9 people sitting in a cramped room that all they did was set up new websites, because we didn't have HighLevel. we figured out every way that we could kind of replicate what I just showed you with HighLevel, by using a bunch of different WordPress tools that we could cobble together out there and stuff, and try and make it as efficient as possible, but it wasn't as efficient as HighLevel. So I had 9 people sitting there that all they did was stamp out these websites for new customers every day. And we did that for about 3 months with 9 people in a room before we figured out enough of a system to like start cutting back the number of people doing that. It was a lot harder. It was a lot harder than it would be right now with HighLevel, which is load that snapshot into the account, update the custom values. Website is now 85% done. And the other 15%, we have somebody go in, or the customer goes in because you give them access to go in and modify their website, or not. You hold that back as a service that you do. You do all the modifications for them. Whatever, you can decide, do you want to give people the ability to do that in HighLevel, or do you want to make it that only you can do those updates? Whatever you decide, whatever level of service you want to offer. The last thing that I want to say actually about that snapshot, and then we can answer some questions and stuff, is in that snapshot. Okay, so in that account, so let's say, again, I'm just going to say we're using Bob's Test Business here as the account that I'm going to build my snapshot off of. Okay, so I'm going to switch to that account. Now, in that account, I can set up the access levels that I want my customers to have. And I can set up what I want them to be able to see when they log into the system. So Dan was talking about, hey, it could be pretty intimidating to log in there and see all this stuff, right? Well, right here, I can set up the user accounts. And I'm sorry, that is hold on, let me go to, team management and employees. Yes, so right here, I can set up these user roles inside of that account so that when I turn on the account for the customer, I can determine what I want them to be able to see. Maybe I don't want them to be able to see the membership site capability. It's restaurants. Why do they need that? They don't need that, right? And maybe I don't want them to see maybe I want them to benefit from the workflows, but I don't want them to see them or be able to modify them. So I'm going to go ahead and turn those off as well. Anything that's going to get modified in the workflows is going to be done by me and my team. So I'm going to turn those off so the customer can't see them. Okay. I also don't want them messing around with the settings or the tags or any of that type of stuff. So now I can create these user roles and I can determine the things that they're going to see and not see. And then I create that snapshot so that when I load that snapshot into my customers' accounts, I know what they're going to be seeing. When you log in, you're going to see these things because I just define that by defining the user roles in the system before I turned it on for them. Okay, so that's how you can reduce some of that overwhelming complexity. And that's also how you can define what your customer is going to be able to do with that system. Again, depending on the level of service that you want to offer, you could offer a full managed service. So it could be, hey, Mr. Customer, you don't have to do a thing. We run your marketing system for you. Other than responding to your prospects and your customers and making your sales calls and stuff like that, we do everything for you, right? Or you could take a leaner approach where you say, hey, we set up the system for you. We give you all these amazing tools and access to these tools, and then you run your marketing system every day. And we'll train you on how to do that using the tools, but that's up to you, right? So depending on the level of service that you want to offer, you could determine what the level of access is that you want to give them to the actual system and tools there. So that's how we make the magic happen, all the way from R4, the sales conversation, the marketing conversation that we're having with prospects, to then doing the audit, which is around that same conversation, those same 4 R's, designing the service delivery, using that service alignment guide, building the assets and the proper tools and settings into HighLevel, taking a snapshot, putting that snapshot into place when my customer signs up, making the relatively minor, it really is relatively minor customizations that you're going to make when a new customer, right? So I sell to restaurant number 1 versus restaurant number 2. Restaurant number 1 is a pizza place. So when I'm updating their website theme and all that type of stuff, we're going to have pizza pictures in there, right? When restaurant number 2 is a burger place. So it's going to be burger pictures. I mean, but it's still the same website structure. I mean, everything is really the same. We're just changing out those basic things. So it's not a lot of customization. It's not real tough. So that's how we do it. And now customers are paying for access to that system instead of just paying you for custom services based on your time and talent. They're paying you for that system. And people stick with systems much, much, much longer than they stick with time and talent services. Okay, that's how you reduce churn. That's how you get long-term recurring revenue. That's how you get profitability. Okay, that's how you build a nice business. That's why software businesses are so powerful, right? Because businesses sign up for the software and stick and keep using it. Now you've got a system that's based on software so that they stick and keep using it instead of just your time and talent.
Hey, Mike, I haven't overwritten anything in forever. And I know back in the day, it would, when you overwrote a snapshot, it would kind of jack up everybody in it or something like that. Is that when you're overriding, like you tweak the snapshot and then you override it, for when you move on, everybody stays the same now?
Awesome. So good questions. Okay. So one of the really cool things about snapshots is that you can continue to improve and update your services and then deliver those updated improvements to all of your customers by updating the snapshot. Okay, so let's just say we've got all of our restaurant customers all out there using our services, all with our snapshot, and then we design this really awesome new campaign that's working really well. And we say, oh, we got to roll that out to all of our customers. Okay, you can just update your snapshot, and then you can literally just push the update to all of those accounts. Okay, and so let me just show you actually real quick how you can do that. I'll just go here. So inside of GoHighLevel, if I get back to the agency view and I go to my snapshots and I pick a snapshot here, it's birthday campaign snapshot. And I'm sorry. So see, this is where I get confused. Sorry, I'm going to go down here to settings. I'm going to go to snapshots here. Here's my snapshots. And you can see right over here, there's the share icon and there's a refresh icon, and there's a pushed update icon. Okay, those are all 3 different functionalities. So refresh snapshot means that, let's just say I've built a bunch of new stuff into my snapshot, and I want to make sure that when I load a snapshot into account, it's got all those new things. I'm going to hit refresh. So that's just going to scoop up all the new stuff that I've built and make sure that it's in the snapshot for the next account that I create, but it's not doing anything to the existing accounts that already have that snapshot. Okay. If I want to update the existing accounts that already have that snapshot, I hit the push updates, and that will push those updates then to all of those accounts that already have the snapshot. Okay. So those are different functions there. So Clarence, you could push the update to anybody that has it. Okay. You can, and let's just go here real quick and just see here. If I go to, let's just pick one here, push update. So what we can do here now, Clarence, to address, I think what your question was, is you could say, for all of these locations, I want to update it, but I want to make sure I don't overwrite any of this stuff. Skip, because really the only thing I'm updating is this new form that I created. Skip. There's the new form I want everybody to have. Skip the rest. Skip everything else and just load that new form. Okay. So when I do that update, Clarence, I can literally just push one single asset if I want to. And the way that high level works is it's actually quite simple. It's based on the name of the asset. So when you created a new form, let's say you created a new contact us form, but everybody already has a contact us form, right? Every business already has one of those, right? So if you just named your new contact us form, contact us version 2, it would not overwrite the existing contact us form because it's a different name. So it just sees it as two totally different things. You know they're very related because, you know, it's forms that say contact us, but as far as high level is concerned, they're two completely different things because it's just based on the name. So as long as the name is different, you're not going to overwrite anything, period. So if you wanted to literally replace something, you would make sure it had the same name. You'd say, hey, everybody, we're rolling out the new version of such and such, and it's going to replace your old version. We're discontinuing that. So then you would literally name it the same thing and it would just overwrite that. If you want to make sure that it was never overwritten, you just give it a different name and then it would just push the second asset out there side by side. That make sense?
Yep. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. So that's the way we do it. Now, one of the things people may be wondering is, Mike, are you telling me I got to sit down and create the perfect marketing system from scratch before I ever start selling and delivering anything or any of that? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If we go back to our sales approach, okay, we go back to our sales approach. Let me just get that back here. What I recommend is that you decide on the industry that you want to sell to. You go through that service alignment guide, you get a pretty good understanding of, hey, here are the things that I'm pretty sure I'm going to deliver in my system, right? You're not going to be wildly off. And you go out and start selling, and you spend 80% of your time selling. 20% of your time, you know, at night, outside of business hours, you know, that type of thing, you should be playing with high level. And you should be designing what you think is going to be, you know, are going to be the components of that system. Learn how high level works. And then when you sell, you use this surge period to get as much put in place. And man, pressure is a really, really wonderful thing when it comes to getting stuff done. And when you go out and sell and you get somebody on board and they go, yeah, we'd like that system, you'll be amazed at how quickly we pull together that system. But look, is it going to be 100% complete? Is it going to be perfect on day one? Absolutely not. You're going to put your best V1 version of it out there. And then I just showed you, you can do updates very, very easily using the high level platform. Okay. So sales is the number one thing in this business. You got to get out there and sell. You got to get some opportunities before you get too stressed out about what you're going to do with those opportunities. You need some opportunities to stress about. Again, going back to, we call those good problems, first class problems, right, Clarence? When we're staying up late because we have so many new customers that we have to deal with.
Oh yeah.
You figure out a lot of stuff very quickly, don't you?
Yeah, and I'm not 24 hours. I'm not personally 24 hours. I'm just.
No, I know.
Okay, all right. I don't want anybody thinking, "Hey, he's staying up like that." I mean, we're handing the baton over.
Yeah.
Different.
No, I would be yelling at you if that was the case.
For real, I was like, "That's going the other way, isn't it?"
Clarence, anything you feel like I could cover more to help people and understand this whole process? And anybody who's got questions out there, please feel free to, put them in the comments.
Man, I think you covered it. The big deal is, I don't know who it was that said it's intimidating when you first log in, and it is.
It is.
But getting all that stuff set up and kind of tweaking as you go.
Yeah. And so here's what I recommend for everybody. This is what I did. Okay. 2 things. And like I said, I am not a technical person, guys. Like, I mean, there's no writing code or anything like that coming out of this guy. I'm a business guy. Okay. I'm also a business guy who has learned over the years that it is important for me to dive, head first into certain things to make sure that I can then use those things with full confidence for my business and for my services and products that I'm delivering. So in other words, when I sold IT services, I couldn't fix a computer if my life depended on it. But I did the deep dive for like a year and a half where I read everything I could about, IT. I got the language. I had people kind of coach me on what the heck is a network and what are all the different things on the network and why do we have to have this thing and that thing, so I could speak the language with confidence. Okay. You got to do that as a business owner. And for some of you, that means different things than others. Okay. I'm not a perfectionist at all. I'm a salesperson. I'm a promoter. I'm a bit of a hustler. Right. And so as long as I got the big picture, I'm comfortable selling it. I don't have to get all into the weeds. I don't have to. Some of you, that's not your personality. And you're like, I cannot go out and sell with confidence unless I know how this thing works. And I got to get in there and push all the buttons and do all the things. Then you better start carving out some hours where what you're going to do is you're going to get into high level, set up your own business on high level. That's number one. Everybody should be doing that. Why in the world are you not running your business on high level? If you're not, why in the world? Right? I can show you all my businesses, everything run on high level, because I insist on eating my own dog food. If I'm telling you guys that you should be using it, you can bet your butt I'm going to be using it. So I'm using it all day, every day. Okay. I know it inside and out at this point. So get in there and set up your own business. You will learn so much just getting your own business up and running, right? 2, set up a dummy account inside of high level that is a test customer and start messing with this stuff. Hey, what happens when I turn off these settings and then log in as that customer? What does it look like to them? Oh, I turned off that setting. Here's what they see or don't see. Okay. Now let me push this funnel into that account using the snapshot and then go log into that account and see what happens. That's why you saw in my high level account, right? That's why you saw, I don't have it over there right now. You saw my dummy accounts that I set up, right? The ones that I call sandbox and dummy account stuff. That's me messing around with stuff. That's me figuring out how the thing works. So get in there and start playing around with it, because then you're going to get that confidence. You're going to get that understanding and get up to speed. Okay. So that's how you get past that intimidation factor as fast as possible. All right. Hey, Mike, it's Kathy. What's up, Kathy? Kathy is killing it, by the way. She just posted in the high level group this week. I love it. I'm looking to bring on a VA team to help us. What do you think about VAs versus hiring direct to get the help on the back end? I think, to me, Kathy, it depends. And so here's what I mean by that. I'm trying not to be wishy-washy on my answer. I have VAs working for me, but I've had the same VA working for me now for about a dozen years full time. So she's a part of my team, right? So she's completely integrated into everything I do, all my systems. She's got username and password. She's my right-hand man, right? So, if you're going to do it that way, you can do anything with a VA, right? If a VA is some service that you're going to hire to, I put in a ticket and then they respond to me within 24 hours to do a thing for my customer, whatever, that's fine too. They both have their place. Just make sure you understand the role and purpose of each in your business so that you're not confusing one for the other. If you're talking about, I want somebody to be like delivering services for my customers, that back end thing that I just talked about there, where it's somebody who responds to the ticket in 24 hours, super hard to make that work. I mean, that's going to create probably a service that you're not going to be real impressed with. Your customers aren't going to be real impressed with, but there's probably a lot of stuff that one of those services could help you with that are more behind the scenes administrative things that don't have to be like customer facing, aren't as urgent, that it could be really good to have them on board. So just make sure you think that through and use them appropriately is my advice. What about you, Clarence? You have full-time team on staff?
VA, I mean, there you say VAs. I hardly ever call them VAs. I mean, they've been with me for years, like years
Yeah.
and years and years and years. I mean, we do have some that we contract with, and they actually, they actually work with them and handle them. So, I mean, you handle that right. I mean, there's the team VAs and there's outsourcers or freelancers.
Yeah. And we live in a different world than 10 years ago, right? I mean, now you can get talent anywhere around the world in a moment's notice. So it's pretty sick. Yes, you can do everything that I showed you today without the white label version. The SaaS version, so I showed you some of the SaaS tools that can automatically create an account for you and stuff like that. That you have to be at the SaaS level, which is Pro, which is the $497 a month plan. Everything else that I showed you, you can do at Agency Unlimited, which is the $297 a month plan. Okay. Plug as well, shameless plug. If you want to know more about why I think that high level is the best thing since sliced bread, just go right there, servicesatscale.com/high level. And I'll
have you no shame.
I'll give you, I know, having no shame. I'll give you my pitch as to why I think the high level is the best thing since sliced bread right there. And of course, if you are not using high level and you want to sign up for high level and you do it through me, I am one of their biggest partners. And if you sign up for that, for high level through me, you get access to my training programs, to my snapshots, to all those website templates we just showed you, to all the campaigns, all the workflows, plus my training on a very regular basis, live training, depending on which programs you're in. I do weekly calls with my customers to help them grow their business. So, of course, we'd love to have you in there and would love to answer any questions that anybody has about that as they're reviewing those things. So I can't say enough good things about the software. It is changing. It has changed our industry. But what's really, really cool about this to me is I saw this all happen in the IT services business already. And when I got into the IT services business, it was sloppy. It was custom work. It was hourly work. And it was guys that were not getting ahead. And I say guys, only because it was mostly guys in that industry. They were not really getting ahead. By the time I got out of that industry, we had changed it to a flat fee subscription recurring revenue model where we were using technology, just like we're talking about here with high level, to deliver services with more scalability and profitability. And there was a whole bunch of millionaires. And that business changed my life because of the way that we structured it and designed our services, I was able to sell it for a really nice exit, and that changed my life. That's exactly what's happening in this agency space right now with high level. And I guarantee you 5 years from now, we're going to be at that high level conference. There's going to be a bunch of people on this call that are now going, yep. You know, there's already, go into the high level community and you'll see people posting every once in a while. I just bought my mom a new house. Thank you, high level. I just, it's awesome. You know what's pretty funny? This cracks me up, actually. I just got a message from somebody that I've known for a long time. And I start getting these messages from them. I've known him for a long time, but I don't talk to him regularly, business associate. And he starts messaging me. Look at this. Hey, Mike, I have a client that's using GoHighLevel and they added me as a user to work on their website, but I can't get the login code to emails to work. We've both tried multiple times. And he used this phrase, code. And I wrote back and I said, I don't even know what a code email is, laughing emoji. And he writes back and he says, the email is sent with a code to log in. I said, I don't have any clue, man. I said, you'd have to contact high level support. And he goes, oh, sorry, dude. I got the impression that you own GoHighLevel. My bad. Because I'm their biggest fan. I'm their biggest cheerleader. I'm out there talking like it's my baby. It's not my baby. I don't own this company. And he thought, because he sees me out there yakking it up so much about high level, he thought I owned the company. So he was calling me directly to get support. I was like, oh man, that's funny. I'm a mouth.
That's funny.
Oh man. Clarence, anything else we can we can chat about today, cover here today? I know I kept you on a long time. We kept everybody here a long time. My apologies.
Man, I think one of the big things is on my next consulting call, I'm going to ask who cooks the chicken.
Yeah,
That's the number one. That's the number one. Who cooks the chicken?
I love that. I love that, man. I'm gonna have a T-shirt made for you. You watch. You watch.
No, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Help at servicesthatscale.com. Anybody who has any questions about anything, I see Creative Biz Hub. Mike, I sent it through you, but haven't got access to anything. Can you point me in the right direction? Yes, please just email help@servicesthatscale.com and we'll get you all sorted out. My apologies, but sometimes the affiliate system, when you sign up, it doesn't correctly link to our systems, and so you don't get sent access to things. We deal with that every day, and so we will get you taken care of. Okay. I was thinking back into, I have someone who's working the front end. She's a part of my team. I was thinking using the back end to do all the GoHighLevel stuff. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. All right, Clarence, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you coming on board and allowing us to pick your brain a little bit and sharing your experiences with us. And I'm thrilled for your success, my friend. And I'm thrilled for, I know what you're going to be doing here in the coming months and years too, with getting all these
moving to the mountains.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody, thank you so much. Dan says right now, many of us are raising the chickens, killing the chickens, processing the chickens, and cooking the chicken. And some of us are gathering the eggs. That's right. And Dan, that is not a business. I'm sorry to tell you, that is not a business. That is a job. And we got to get everybody on here out of jobs and into businesses.
Right.
So business, you can have somebody else doing all that for you. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Hey, if you are not a subscriber to my YouTube channel yet, please, while you are here, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, put new content out there every week about how to grow your business, how to build a more profitable business, sales, marketing, strategy, how to live a life as an entrepreneur that you can actually enjoy. So please subscribe to the channel. I would love to see you over there, and I respond to any questions and comments on those videos personally every day. And I would look forward to hearing from you. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Clarence. We will talk to you all real soon. We'll see you on the next call. Take care, gang. Bye-bye.